Here we are with the Orioles 2024 season preview. Orioles back, ready to defend their AL East crown. Let's hop right in to who made the team. So at catcher, we've got Rafael Marchand as the backup and Rutschman. Marchand was the guy I grabbed in the Rule 5 draft that I went over in my last offseason recap. And then come on down here to the positions. Mountcastle returns as the starting first baseman. Second base, Rylan Bannon tore his meniscus in spring training, and he is going to miss about the first 6 weeks of the season, 6 to 8 weeks. So Tommy Edman, who is going to play a lot versus lefties and kind of be in a super utility role against righties, is going to hop in and be the starting second baseman for now. Nick Matan, of course, comes back as the third baseman. Gunnar Henderson, starting shortstop. I'd say, the biggest question mark in terms of something to prove. Finished last year at AAA, 61 games, 2.1 WAR, and a 128 runs created plus. He is the 29th ranked prospect in baseball now. So feeling pretty good about him. I think he can be a really good player. And then Hayes, Buxton, Verdugo, and Larnach, left field, center field right, DH, are the same as last year. And then on the bench, Kyle Isbell is the fifth outfielder, I guess if you count Larnach. The DH is the fourth. So he's going to get a decent amount of playing time, I think, against righties anyways. He's a lefty. Austin Hayes really is a pretty average player, and I'm open to giving other people more of a chance. So Isbell will get a chance there to play, I don't know, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. And then we have Caden Grenier, I believe is how his name is pronounced. He is an Orioles prospect in real life. He was first-round pick in 2018. I believe he was supplemental first-round pick, not their actual first pick. And he kind of marched his way up through the system and was decent. He can field all four infield positions well above average. And then last year in Norfolk, he just ripped it up. 4 WAR, a 134 runs created plus. So, and his emergence is kind of why I felt comfortable dealing some of the infield depth I did in the Flaherty trade. So he'll be there. And then Zach Watson made the team. I don't know why he shouldn't be set to a first baseman. Let's go ahead and fix that. So Zach Watson made the team because of the injury to Bannon. Zach Watson, he was an Orioles third-round pick in real life in 2019, and it's just kind of made his way up the system. He was very good in half a season in AAA in 2022, and then was good again last year in 2023, but was also up with the big club for a little bit, but only got one plate appearance. So he seems like a useful utility guy to have around. So those are the hitters. Now, if we hop over to the pitching, the rotation, Jack Flaherty, of course, the big offseason trade I went over in the last episode. German Marquez is back, and in the final year of his deal is number 2 starter. Asa Lacy, number 3 starter. Luis Castillo, this is like his 4th year at the club, right? Yeah, he came over in the middle of the 2021 season. His best season was last year in 2023, put up 2.3 WAR. And then DL Hall is entering his 3rd year with the team, 2.4 WAR and 1.9. That's pretty darn good as a 5th starter. I'll take that. In the bullpen, Jordan Hicks, the free agent signing. Will Smith returns in a setup role for the 2nd straight season. Connor Jones, setup/high leverage guy. He's just awesome. 1.9 WAR in 2022, 2.7 WAR in 77 innings in 2023. He's one of the better relievers in baseball. 2.7 WAR. You don't see too many relievers put that up. And then Durbin Feltman and J.D. Hammer are both guys who have been around for a while, guys I acquired in the rebuild, and they can really pitch further back in the bullpen and really could. Feltman at least could be a closer, but I don't want to give him saves and raise his arbitration costs. Archie Bradley, the free agent acquisition, really another guy who's capable of setup, role, and is in middle relief. I think this bullpen is as deep as any in the game, I bet. Grayson Rodriguez is long relief. Andrew Chafin is the specialist. If we go look at the 40-man just in terms of other guys who might get some time up this year, Colton Eastman and Connor Siebold are both guys who have been in long relief/5th starter roles for me and kind of ridden that Baltimore to Norfolk shuttle, and they've been really solid, and this is their 3rd year doing it. Tejada, Alba, Beckwith, all guys who haven't quite broken through yet. Tejada's a highly ranked prospect. He's in AAA this year. Yancey is a draft pick of mine who's ascended pretty solidly through the system. He's had every season he's been kind of 2 or more WAR, 2.5 or more WAR. He's a 29th round pick in 2020. So he's on the 40-man. He might project more as a reliever. He can start, but with his stuff, he might be a really effective reliever. And then Tice, Griffith, they're guys who will get looks this year, but aren't necessarily like long-term pieces. Maybe they could work their way into that. And then Reese Albert, of course, was the third-round pick in 2020 who came up last year and played center field down the stretch. I've got him down in Norfolk mainly to work on his just his fielding. He's a little weak in left field, so I just want to get that up a little bit. And I think as, Verdugo goes to free agency, and we'll see what happens with Hayes as he enters more expensive arbitration years, Albert's a guy who I think will be in the picture for a big league spot. Daniel Cabrera is a solid bat that I got from the Rays back in the as kind of a throw-in piece back in 2022, and he put up 3.9 WAR in Norfolk last year. Again, if I didn't have guys like Verdugo and Larnach and all that kind of entrenched, he's going to be in the mix next year for sure. Fabian, of course, is that right-handed hitting outfielder on the 40-man roster that I traded for because I had so many lefties. Johnny Reiser is a guy who just completely demolished AAA pitching last year, and I was considering giving him the spot over Isbell, and then for the last outfielder spot because of how good he was last year, but he bombed in spring training and Isbell was good, so that was the tiebreaker. So that's the 40-man. And now if we go to the preseason predictions, you will see the Orioles are projected to win 103 games this year. Next best in the AL East is the Rays at 87. If you look at this, it's weird. There's really the only dominant team in the AL prediction-wise is the Orioles. The Tigers are predicted to win the Central with 80 wins. There was one year where the NL Central was similar, and one team, the Cardinals, ran away with it and were the only team over 500, and they won a ton of games. And then the Angels and the Astros, both projected to finish above 500, but 85 wins to win it. And then we'll go down here. The NL's a little bit more, I guess, quote-unquote normal. 98-win team, 91-win team, 101. So the 103 wins are projected to be the most. And if you go down to the top hitters predicted, we got Verdugo and Mountcastle both in the top 10. Pitching, we've got Flaherty first, Lacey third, and then down here also in the top 10 is German Marquez. So really likes my pitching, the prediction model or projection model, I guess, that they use. You will notice that the runs and ERA are much lower in terms of prediction. There were seasons past, there were a couple teams over 900 predicted runs, and that happened, and then some teams were over 800, and most ERAs were over 4, if not over 5 in the predictions. I actually went and scaled back the offense in this game. It's a setting you can do, and I won't get too off track here with it, because this is more a geeky thing. But there will be less offense this year because I went and set the offensive modifiers here, which is how often like home runs, doubles, strikeouts, all this happen. I set it to the 2015 MLB environment instead of it being based off of 2019 or when you start the game. And then the game kind of assumes that the offense is going to continue to increase as it has in real MLB. The last, 2 years, 2018, 2019, there's been a real exaggerated move towards home runs and strikeouts, which actually as a fan, I don't mind. People think it's boring because there's not as much action. I still love Major League Baseball as it is today. But just in terms of offensive totals, it was just crazy the number of guys we're putting up. So I scaled it back. We've still got plenty of guys predicted to hit over 40 home runs, I think. Let's see. Here are the top hitters. Gleyber Torres, 43 home runs. Vlad Jr., 37. Plenty of guys over 100 RBI. I just think this will be more realistic. And, you won't have guys like Ryan Mountcastle, in the top 5 for Orioles all-time records and slugging percentage and all that, despite just being a very good major league pitcher, and he's torching records. So that is a reason why that I like stats like runs created plus and OPS plus, because it adjusts to the run environment. So Mountcastle's home runs, his OBP, his slugging percentage and all that could be much lower this year, but he could still be a 132 because he could still be 32% above the league average, because the league average in runs created plus, OPS plus, also ERA plus, they're all adjusted to the run environment. So there'll be less offense this year, is long story short. And then just really quick, player development, still with the 10th best minor league system. Of course, some of these guys will fall off this year. My 2 top prospects probably will, because once you have 75 days of major league service, you're no longer eligible as a prospect at the start of the next season. So Lacey's still at 19th, and he's in the rotation. Henderson at 29th. They got Bob Maldonado, who's still he's not even in rookie ball yet because he's only 17. I think he turns 18 really soon. I might promote him to rookie ball, or I might wait another year. Brady Corrigan, who was my 20th round pick in 2021, and he's 25 years old, but he continues to be ranked as a top 100 prospect, even though he just hasn't been that good. He has not had a dominant season yet. Look at this WAR and these ERAs, and his walks are high, although they continue to improve. He just continues to improve a little bit, but yet to see him kind of fulfill that potential. Miguel Tejada is a top 100 prospect, and then Drew Bowser is the 100th prospect, my 6th top 100 prospect. Bowser was picked in the first round supplemental pick, the 31st pick in the 2020 draft. If anybody watched the recent Major League draft, the Orioles had 2 picks on the first night because of that pick in the supplemental round where I think they took a college shortstop. So I took a high school shortstop, and he's looking like he's going to be a piece. He's going to be AAA this year, and I'm excited about him. And then some other guys here. This is an international free agent signing. Jack Perkins was the 8th overall pick in 2022. He's in AA this year. Angeletta and Milliken were both drafted early in the 2023 draft. Jamie Chisholm is down here. He was that first overall pick in 2021. He had a really good second half of the year last year. Maybe he'll finally do something. So that's the system. Still ranked 10th overall, while I'm predicted to be the best team in the majors. That's pretty good. I've been able to maintain a decent farm system, although I imagine it'll continue to kind of go down in the rankings as I'm more competitive, pick lower in the draft on a more regular basis, etc. So I think that's pretty much it in terms of the season preview. I'm not sure when I'm going to do opening day, but I'll do it live. I'll try to give at least like several hours notice, and I'll probably do it one evening this week. This week being, June 16th right now as I'm recording this. I don't know when this will go live, probably in the next day or two, and then I'll do the opening day within like a day of that probably. So anyways, that is the end of the 2024 season preview. The O's are predicted to be the best team in the majors.